This is Jason Reed Pratt, author of Cry of Justice! Have you ever wished I would just not bother with my silly opening monologue for a while, since I'm not really doing anything so far in Desert War 1940 to 1942, designed by BK Wargames and published by Slitherine and our Matrix Games? I mean, there's no point in me even trying to go for an out-of-breath inhale this time. Me too! Turn 9, morning of day 3, September 15th, 1940. All the action is still up here, but down here we saw the 1st Italian unit swinging more clearly into view before night last turn. Apparently a couple of regiments. No reason for me to do anything about them yet, so back to the northern escarpment passes. Despite my major defense victories here so far, I'm a little worried about my super stack sitting on Sofifia Pass. They've still got 20 strength in defense, but I feel like they're starting to wear down somewhat. The barracks still have 31 defensive strength, and fewer directions to defend. So, yeah, I think I'll focus defensive fire support on Sofifia for a while. Oh, wait, I didn't want to put all 3 of the arty parked there. That one goes to the barracks. My T-key toggle, which provides a rollover zoom-in for the stack, shows all 3 of my arty batteries assigned for missions, which you can tell by the little red triangle on the right side of their card above the middle green dot. Mousing around, I can see that, well, I can't see any divisional headquarters, or corps if I recall, right now. But this big arty park, with corps artillery, supposedly, I guess, in the middle hasn't gotten any less HQE. I'm definitely focusing my signals warfare here with the stronger but narrower radius one on the plot with the brigade headquarters. And while I'm at it, I might as well send some maneuver effort here at the pass, since this seems to be where the AI likes to put its main effort chip. My air recon squadrons still seem pretty tired out, so I won't push them this morning. But my other air squadrons are raring to go. Well, maybe not the 45th Blindheims here. They seem to need more recovery. The other 2, however, are going for that giant HQ park. Everyone else gets the usual counter-air and interdiction missions. As before, the Terror goes for the larger arty park, and the other 2 ships for the smaller. You know, maybe not. I may just go for the larger one with them too. In fact, I'll redirect my other signals team to the larger one. Concentrate my effort, get those things hammered out, and then I'll switch fire. You might have noticed that I'm using the stack rollover, scrolling up and down it with some subtle mouse movements, to try specifically targeting the brigade headquarters. I don't know that this will have any effect. I rather doubt it, but I might as well experiment. No one needs to move yet, so to breakfast. Doom, 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 doom. You may also notice that, despite my downscaling the automatic playback as usual, I'm not hitting play. I'm stepping forward manually, which allows me to go faster between the action and also to instantly pause if I see something to focus on. Like those anti-tank batteries bombarding my poor scout platoon in Solemn from 6 miles away again. Woog, 14% damage to strength. They'll have trouble holding out at this rate. Better than someone else, but harsh on them. How did my morning hate do on the headquarters super stack? Not great yet, and that's with a maximum 6 roll. I just don't have enough information to place my shots. But at least I'm tiring them out faster than I'm tiring my crews. No big ground assaults anywhere, which after the debacles over the past 2 days is a little surprising. Maybe a random number flipped the Italians over to somewhat smarter? Well, not smart enough to keep one unit from killing itself charging at the barracks. I didn't bother paying attention to anything down near Bir Habada because I figured the steps would take me there if anything gunpowdery happened. But I see another couple of chips have arrived in scouting range. Anything more extended? Why, yes, there is a motorized regiment apparently heading for Bir El Kamsa, which they can have with my compliments, but that makes me naturally curious what else may be going on down there, which I can't see. Back to the Solemn area. Something you might not notice until you play the game is that the mouse wheel which scrolls the zoom in and out focuses on the camera lens, so to speak. Or rather, it directs the map lens to focus on which hex the mouse is currently over and centers the zoom in or out that way. Apparently, I can see a lot in that smaller officer park where the 116th and 157th Regiment HQs are plopped. Maybe for a change of pace, I should focus my outgoing ordnance there. Yeah, I'm still going to send my electronic warfare and my recon flights, now rested, to the brigade park because I want that information more. But both bombers and my long-range artillery and all the ships are going on the smaller park, which I can see better right now. Notice, by the way, that as I finish assigning all my assets, the border around the strategic buttons up here turns green instead of red. Or for air, a little light green, since I didn't put my weakened bombers on the flight yet. We'll see how that goes. Eat their lunch. We go down. 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 Wow, even more of all their already wasted shot on that poor recon unit. They must think it's a headquarters. That's the only reasonable explanation. Speaking of headquarters, how did our better sighting do on the smaller arty park? Still not so great, and that was with fewer targets and better sighting, and a maximum die roll, too, of 6. I've seen an alpha strike like this just paste a headquarters before. But to be fair, that was against single chips, and there are 4 here. Oh, hey, look at this. If my information is correct, they can't push supply anywhere this turn. By contrast, these 2 headquarters, which I'm leaving alone this turn, can both send supply out 8 movement points. Which, that seems weird. Like, both are brigade headquarters? I understand the point to misidentifying a chip, but maybe misidentifying should be a little more consistent. If my guys think one of those is a regiment headquarters, they wouldn't be claiming it can function like a brigade headquarters. The brigade headquarters might have just made a mistake, moving to an area with fewer units to protect it, and to spread out the targets. Okay, see, this is just too silly for words. This engineering company, already a little wounded probably if I recall correctly, just decides to die on the barracks? I have to feel like this can't be just a case of the AI being told to act dumb. And dusk steals darkly over the Italians. Now, I think I'm okay with these heavy anti-tank battalions having 12 anti-air rating, because those guns could pull double duty, I guess. Although I tend to get the impression that only the famous German 88s ever did that, and that's not these. While I'm at it, shouldn't 2 marks be a battalion and not a platoon? Well, maybe that's something to do with artillery, which an anti-tank battery is technically, and besides I suspect at least one of them is really a pure direct artillery shooter. But when I mouse around the various enemies, they all read as platoons. Even this one, which I supposedly have so much information on, that I have figured out that it's the 2nd Battalion of the 115th Infantry Regiment, it still reads as a platoon. That has to be a bug, right? If you're so sure of a battalion that you think you know its number and who it belongs to, you wouldn't still classify the umpth battalion of the umpty-umpth regiment as a platoon, and I don't care how much misidentification there is in the fog of war. I don't know that it matters, but depending on what kind of bug it is, it might matter. If the computer is treating it as a platoon for other reasons, then that would be greatly hampering the AI, wouldn't it? Oh well. Notice my strategic buttons are red right now. Now watch them change green as I go. The officer park with still 3 headquarters, apparently, I still don't have enough eyes on yet. But I would rather focus on that brigade headquarters anyway, which apparently I can still see fine. Is it still in range of my 5-hex arty? Barely, but yes. So tag that. Now look, see, this artillery strength of 6? That seems wrong. That's why I keep calling these things core assets instead of mere batteries. But anyway, if the Slitherine artillery wants to see what a real barrage looks like, my Navy can oblige. Which, it's weird, my Navy crews have accrued no exhaustion at all. None. In almost 3 days of steady work. That seems like a bug. My other strategic assets seem tired, so I'll let them rest for the night while the Navy pulls the weight for a while. It's not like they ever get tired. What about down near Sofifia? Oh, hi, giant army stacks! And a couple of blips far to the south, too. That is a scary huge wad of troops. Could see some action here tonight, at least artillery bombards, maybe some air. My scouts might run away too, which is fine. Indeed, I see in fact they have already retreated a little from their positions. You know what? I think I'll move this armored car scouting company for kicks. I do that by, well, first I'm going to left click this icon up here so that when I do assign him a move, it'll be move and defend. Then left clicking on him, and while the engine's down is going, I'll drag him on the path I want him to take. This will take him out of supply, but he's about to be cut off from supply anyway, and I want him to see what's going on over there, and maybe mess with their supply. I'm not actually there on the map where it shows yet, remember. This is a WeGo game, so the computer will resolve the moves as we execute the turn together. Since things are developing down here to the south, I'll focus down here tonight. Oh, there's a reasonably strong force down there south of my scouting company. Let's see what happens. Well, the first thing that happens is that those two anti-tank guns finally eliminated my poor scouts in Solemn. Go home, guys. You have surely earned it. My naval and artillery strike on the brigade headquarters wasn't too bad. I didn't add bombers and pre-scouting after all. Now, this is curious. This bombing marker has a ground support marker too, which suggests a ground attack is on the way to Sofifia Pass. I hope everybody's ready. Meanwhile, back down south, my aggressive scouting seems to be working as my other scouts move out of the way of the incoming piles of Italians. And that's the end of the night, and the end of day 3. Wait a minute, wasn't there going to be a ground attack on Sofifia Pass? That didn't happen. Our relative scores so far? Now, wait a minute. The Italians aren't even in Sofifia yet, so why are they being scored for points there? I've got 2 much larger units flanking the same town, too. More insultingly, sure, those scouts constantly bombed off the map in Solemn were hero decoys, but the Italians got 7 points for them? 7 points! I got 1 point each for the first 3 Italian pieces I destroyed, or who rather destroyed themselves, molesting my bullets with their bodies, and my 1 loss so far was 1 scout platoon. Of armored cars, sure, but not good armored cars. Considering they outnumber me by twice as many chips on the board and probably something like twice as many men overall, not counting the 1-to-4 odds locally right now, how can this score make any sense? Well, I'm still ahead for now, but that scoring policy doesn't bode overly well, especially with what looks like a couple of regiments bearing down on my southern defenses, if not more. And it's, again, our turns of WeGo Doom. Doom, 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 WeGo Doom, 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 doom.